All right. Today, the new PUP patch dropped. The preview, and from what I've seen, it looks quite dope. As we see here. Yeah, that's the usual stuff. So let's talk about the new features. The Empire Wars game mode, which has been announced earlier. Unit selection cap increased by 10. Also a great addition. The map selection screen, we have to check this out. And finally, Aztec home city customizations, which I'm waiting for like an eternity. So these are just the stability and performance fixes they made. Let's have new UI. Yeah, it's mentioned up here, new map selection screen. Tactic icons, notice, always appear on the top row of all units. To improve button locations, consistency, yeah. That's we have changed the load more list on the load more button, loading more icons. On the mod thing. Any exciting about fixes? Inca skins challenges, moon ceremony. Wrong edge of Inca, okay. Customization. Wrong check for Ottoman. Good behavior. Default sorting, rolling mods, fix and selection, audio begin. Interesting, remove Nizam from Battlefield construction card. Oh, okay. Incorrect names, element secretary, okay. And I'm not being too much. Changes for the Empire Wars. Do we have here? Now have a default trigger of 0.6 coin per second. Okay, Asian Monastery. It's only for the Empire Wars, sad. Imagine Asian Monastery have triggers for normal mode as well. But only is for the Empire Wars. Really wish that was a thing for Asian monasteries too. Castle expedition where Indian and Japanese castles were built very slowly compared to Chinese ones. I never knew that. Unit and buildings. No immune to RNG abilities. Oh, that's great. Warships are now counted as gatherers on the UI when gathering. That's a nice fix here. Here, fix an issue. Switch between limber and bomber attacks would not be cancelled. Oh yeah, that's also great. Villagers adjust as follows. Siege attack, no conflicts 3 times to mounted monasteries. Interesting. Cannot be healed. Cannot be healed by healing unit. Pirates are gathering resources or construct buildings. I know it's gonna be useful a lot. Cowboys command shadows adjust as follows. Oh yeah, I saw JL complaining about the cowboys charging it. Damage correct from 38 from 48. Population cost reduced from 5. So a nerf and buff at the same time. Alhood range attack increased by 2. More AoE damage. And also less population cost. Do you want Alhoods if you have like regulars and your state militia? I doubt it. Gunslinger, it was the Musk type of unit. Anti-attack cavalry multiplier increased by 1. I'm not there yet. So essentially all mercenaries here, outlaws, but population increased by 1. Hit points increased by 500. Ooh. Actually doubled the build bounty. Over here, speed improved by 4.25. It's gonna help a lot. Not by a whole lot, but we see how it plays out. The like 5% movement increase. Grenadier. Oh nice. Range resistance improved by 10%. Villager and cavalry damage with glass improved by 0.5. Okay. Siege attack rate of fire corrected to 3. How much was it before? 94 cowboy, they get 2.25% rate to this. Creed tracker. So this was the one of the age-ups where you can ally with the Crees as the US. So hit points got nerfed by like 10%. Range decreased by 2. Oof, but their speed got improved, so they technically are like the same speed as Cazadors, but with 2 less range. Range attack damage improved by 3. Melee attack damage adjusted accordingly. Eagle-Eye charge shot action ability range increased to... Oh, that's a whole lot. This might be useful now. But I never use this card, so... See better, does it follow what? No longer improved by engineering school card, so no longer infinite spam of petards. Longer attack as infantry. Suave reduced to 350 coin. Shipments awarded via tags and cards will now correctly play. Purification zone? What? I never heard about that bug. But cheaper. Was the craftsmanship the one which increased? I know it was the cheaper building one, right? So they made them even better? Pre-training, no grants plus 10% infantry and cavalry points. Ooh, that's a nice and great buff. Right down attack is infantry, so that's gonna help a whole lot since they have like 500 HP. So they're gonna be easier to take down, really. Full ranker, commerce age, range, and siege damage reduced to 12. Restore with normal elite upgrades. Yeah, I heard a lot of complaints about the Hero rankers. Wamani now costs 500 wood to send. Oof. So the Tukan card is not really good anymore. Now to the Sith. United States deck size increased to 23 from 20. Oh, nice. But factory warring cards are no longer added to the deck upon reaching the Industry Age. So essentially they only get 1 more card. Maybe 2, since you still wanna age up with the factory wagon anyways. Inspiring Flag. This is an interesting one. So Commerce Age Aura increased to 24 from 14. Fortress Age Aura to increase by 10 is another 10. Imperial Age Aura increased by 20. Land of Lincoln card H4, H5, still 70, no change. Huh? I still think that Land of Lincoln is still gonna be the main stay to age up with. I don't think it's gonna change at all. Cost increased by 5 wood. Hit points increased by 5. Ah, they made them finally more similar to Strelets. Like unit HP bonus, no cap at 30 hit points. Oh yeah, so good. So State Militia might not be broken anymore. With wood increase and hit points decrease, that's gonna all add up. Common Cavalry, adjusted as follows. Plus 2 range, which is nice. No longer grant plus 1 range. Rate of fire improved to 2.25. Now fire 11% faster. Buffalo Soldiers attack damage improved by reduced to 15%. Ah, it was the H4 card. Oh, that's so great. USA has finally a use for their stable. Sharpshooter. What do we have here? Base range increased to 22 from 21. Yeah, grants plus 1 range from veteran and guard upgrades. No change. Well, they got 1 more range in it, essentially. Oh, it's anti-ship attack of with 20 range of the thing the US Marines got. Okay. I don't think they will have like much impact, but still nice. Advanced Saloon. Supports population reduced to 20. Makes sense since they reduced the pop of every outlaw essentially. There are 6 current calf. I don't know how much they delivered before. Totally forgot. Dance hall. Move to H4 for the United States. What was the dance hall? Sad. You know the build where you go to H4 with the Texans, then go for the Gold Rush, send the 2 covered wagons, so you boom essentially of 5 town centers. If you send the covered wagon at H3, you even have 6 town centers. Was quite nice. What well. Federal H-ups. Boston Tea Party. No arrived past 5 seconds. Virginia General Assembly. Virginia has been removed to regular home city. What was this card? I forgot. Ah, it was the Pilgrims one, right? Virginia Plan. Upon revival, this card grants you 2 shipments to spend. Wow. That's great. Yeah, I saw that outlaw pop reduction. So not only do you have like 3 shipments ready then, if you reach H2. It's gonna give them a lot of tempo. Still away edge up. Improved to 300 food from 200. That textile mill. Effect upgrades for those grants 30 food or 20 wood for each settler and fishing boat you currently have, and reduced the cost of training new ones. Now to my favorite ones. Favorite changes. Gift ceremonies. Now the default option at the community plaza affects all civilizations that it is accessible to. Okay. Warrior adjusted as follows. Population cost removed. Great. Affects all civilizations, yeah. This will enable the unit to spawn and be used defensively, even if the player loses some houses. The existing build limit from 6 has not been changed. Okay. Firing animation improved. Finally. They had like the same issue as the Aena. They had the fire animation for like a second or two, and before they could even shot their first shot, they was immediately dead. Dragonfly Knight adjusted as follows. Oh nice. Cost improved to 90 food and 30 con, so essentially their boost reduction from 30. Adjusted accordingly, reduced by 20%. Speed improvement, nice. 4.75. Shipment and big buttons that deliver Jaguar Fall Knights have adjusted accordingly, okay. Arrow Knight adjusted as follows. Hit points, damage, and cost all increased by 7%. This change will increase the unit's durability against artillery such as falconets, which previously could defeat them in a single blast. Yeah, this will help, but it will still not help against the heavy cannons in H4. Shipments of Arrow Knights still deliver the same number of units, which are now all 7% stronger. Okay. Added visual differences on legendary upgrades. Aztec military units for better recognizability. So the already S tier units got even stronger now from the cosmetic aspect. Yeah, it's nice. And now we send it twice, like the same as Incas. It would make sense since they were like the most powerful native, like in the entire group. Great Temple of Quetzalcoatl. Move to H3 from H4. Coin cross and number of units shipped adjusted accordingly. Okay. Kamekak. Ships one warrior priest. The next council member he researched or are researching will age up twice as fast. Huh. Calendar ceremony. Ships once warrior priest enables the new calendar ceremony at the warrior plaza, the community plaza, which reduces the cost of your next age up over time. Rate is 0.5 resource per villager per second. Okay. Ritual gladiators. Ships one Troll Knight for each 2 you have lost so far. Might be a good late game card. Five Priest, H3, just as 5 Priests. Wall of Skulls. Ships one Skull up H2, yeah, same as the Ritual Gladiators. Constant Slinger Combat. Finally. This was one card I wanted for so long. Like, the Antonis Sliggers are great early game, because you can mess them easily. But the issue with them is that they drop off really fast once you reach H4. And it has quite a lot of synergy with the Infinite 20 Autonomous Slingers. Chichimeca Rebellion costs 1 coin of each 1k of each resources. Rebellion. The resistance of Chichimeca ennobles your currently present Warheart warriors, turning them into knights. Villagers become more warriors when defeated. Ooh, nice. Correct cultures. Now the following effects for all civilizations that is accessible to. It's now also available to the Aztecs, previously wasn't. Improves villager range attacks by 700% and villager melee attacks by 200%. So Udinese have the card too. And Lakota, I think. Don't lose hit points. And new random maps. Nice. Lots of finding tweaks and improvements. Alright. That's a lot of changes.
So the US changes, I need to get up the PUP on my screen so I can actually remember what it was. So just 1 second. And then I also need to get the age up options as well for US. Because they did change something to make it better in age 1, but I still feel that the real problem, which was age 3, wasn't really. They tried to address it, but I don't think they did a really great job, because I think now more than ever people will always choose the factory, even if they did put the factory cards in, I think, the decks, which is bugged. But yeah, let me just get this quickly.
I think adding the capital card as default is a great, like,
Yeah,
a great addition.
yeah, it was actually a fun. Honestly, out of all the changes that they made, it was probably the best one that they actually decided to do, because it kind of removed the fact that everyone always had to choose Virginia, like maybe 90% of the times, and if you didn't, you were like at a bit of a disadvantage. But oh, I can't get this thing on my screen. Okay, I have to go to Steam now. Remember updates. Okay, yeah, so from the top, they say they changed the deck size to 23 from 20, but they made the factory cards no longer automatically you get from age up. So this change kind of negates itself, because the fact that you don't get the 2 extra industrial age factory cards now kind of like forces you to use at least 1 deck slot just for the 1 factory. Because I mean, if you don't have it, you're only gonna get 1 factory in the entire game, and that's from that 1 age up. So they do say it's 23, but really you're only getting plus 2 slots. You're always going to use 1 slot at least for the 1 extra factory card. At first when I read this, I thought this was a good thing, but now I think it gives you like maybe 2 extra space, which is fine. It's actually it's a nice thing to have as the US, but the fact that you have to put the 2 cards back into your deck is a bit of it's like a positive and a negative at the same time. The flag is broken, so obviously with the range increase, that's
but I think
going to make it even worse.
I think what they try to adjust is to the length of Lincoln card, which was like insanely powerful.
Yeah.
Now it's not as powerful compared to the stats before. Instead of like 40 increased line of sight, you only have like now 16. But I think there's still no other great age of option to age 5, so I don't know, still they go to.
Age 5 is, it's a no-brainer. I can see what they tried to do here. They tried to make age 5 a little less attractive than what it already was. But as the US, you're never gonna want, like, what were the other age of options in 5? I know 1 gives you like increased, like better horses or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Some stupid thing, better cav, I don't know. Like, I mean, 1 gives you forts that train units for free, which, I mean, some of the units train so slowly it doesn't even make any sense to get that. But it also gives you a free fort, so I mean, that's kind of good. What are the other ones? Okay, I got it now. Let me just see, because I can't remember all of them properly. So Imperial Age was Illinois, which is this is what everyone's going to choose still. Connecticut is okay, because you have a card that gives you 2 heavy cannons, and then allows the construction of ironclads, which is of another ironclad actually, sorry, which is all good. So this age up, you can basically end the game if it's already like kind of a stalemate. You can ship 2 heavy cannons, and you can ship another 2 from the home city. You get 4, so that's kind of good, but it still doesn't beat Illinois with the OP flag. Yeah, New York is obviously the one where if you want to do mercs, this is the one that you choose, but it's so expensive to choose this option. It still doesn't beat Illinois. Texas is the one that gives you the Fort Wagon, which is also useless, and Florida was the last one, also gives you the Fort Wagon, but this one kind of improves your cav, and it ships cows for every shipment that you sent in the game, which I have no idea why this is here in H5. But
no idea either.
Yeah, I don't know. They just put it in as the thing. But again, the issue of H2 is kind of sorted, because if you look at H2, if you're going from age 1 to age 2, you got Massachusetts. This is kind of like your treaty option. It's still your treaty option. No one's ever going to choose anything else other than this for treaty, because of the Boston Tea Party card, which is essentially like US's version of Sublime Port for Auto, or the card. I forgot what it's called, what it's named for French and India, where if you get a lot of food or a lot of some resource and exchange it for a greater amount of another, this is still your cheat tier option. Virginia now, with the General Assembly being moved, they did put a card that gives them, I think, you send that card and you get 2 shipments. You get 2 shipments to send immediately, I think.
Yeah, it is like this.
It's... I read that at first and I thought it was okay, and then I thought, you know what, if you're going to send a card, if you're going to send something from the home city and you have to wait for something to give you 2 extra shipments to wait for those to come in, I mean, like, it's a lot of waiting. So if they told us that, like, you send that card and it comes in like 5 seconds or something, I would say then it's a good card, because then it immediately gives you access to 2 more shipments, which is decent. But if you have to wait for it to come in, I don't know. I don't really like that idea for a card mechanic so much. To me, it's like
you could send it like after you age. Like once you hit the age up button, and it's fine to send it.
You could, yeah. You could actually do that. It's possible. But to be honest, now I think that maybe the US meta with the Virginia General Assembly being moved to the home city, which in fact is what really made Virginia a really good age-up option. Pop-up Minutemen was like, it was like something that was there that was also really good. It allowed you to do a certain build with the Marines. But I think with the card that lets you send 2 more shipments, it might make this one a bit stronger, because you could send the Marine card as soon as you age up, and then you can immediately try and get 3 TCs while it's coming in. And then you can send Pop-up Minutemen because you'll have that extra shipment as well. So it makes that build slightly faster and it's slightly better overall. But I think Pennsylvania might start becoming a bit more important for the US, mainly because of the changes that they did to the Cree. The Cree changes were kind of like it made them a bit it made them a little bit less stronger as units, but they did nerf the costs for a lot of the techs. Let me just try and get the tech nerfs as well. Okay, so they say that the Cree Textile Craftsmanship card is now 125 wood, 125 coin, from 225 to 225, which is actually quite a big cost reduction. I think this card allowed you to get, I'm not sure if it's this one, but I think this one allowed you to get cheaper buildings and faster constructing wagons. I'm not sure if it's this one.
Yeah,
though.
I think it is the technology.
Yeah, so this card now becomes a bit more stronger if you do builds with the state capital and the 1000 wood upgrade. And then if you can try and go to age 3 kind of fast, you can pull off quite cheap booms with TCs and outposts as well for turtling. So I think Pennsylvania starts becoming an age up where it allows you to turtle boom a bit easier. Especially since you can also get the church. You can get 2 churches, so I mean it's a nice XP trickle coming in. Gives you an outpost dragon, a bit easier also to turtle, but you also get some of the techs that give you early units, but it's a bit expensive still, I feel. The one that gives you the skirms and the carbine cavalry a bit earlier. But
I mean, you also get the 5 CDBs where you can train them.
Yeah, for sure. And like, I mean, 5 CDBs plus, if you do use the 3 CDBs early, 8 CDBs in total, it's quite a decent eco, along with the normal build. And I mean, if you can get trickles in, you can have quite a decent H2 as the US, I feel now, especially with the extra 2 card slots. I also think that they did buff Delaware a bit. They gave the crates of food, I think, is now 300 from 200, which is slightly nice, because like I feel this was a bit of an underwhelming age up option in general. With the state capital being moved now for faster age up, I think this one becomes slightly a bit better. And I think you already know that you can do the SW boom with Delaware. It's quite efficient as well. And then the Delaware Blues card obviously gives you, I think it gives you like it gives you one regular for every shipment you send. So this can become a nice emergency card if you like an H3 and you need an army a bit quicker.
I actually
But
used
yeah,
this
I
card
think
against your ULMS, where you
I
played
remember.
Germany, US against Germany.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that game. It's quite a nice boom to do, to be honest. It's even better if you can get it going. Like you can do like almost a semi boom. Maybe get like just the 2 SWs. Try not to be like overly greedy, and then use the 6 semi-fattened cows to try and get an age up quickly. Now that the state capital is there, you already get 300 food, so this is a cheap age up at 700. So in total, this only costs you like 400 food to get up if you do the quick maths. Then, as you in H2 transition, you can basically keep gathering food. And then like a little bit of coin to immediately 700 coin, and then state capital straight after that because you get the XP crates. And you can actually do quite a fast fortress with Delaware now. Especially with what it gives you. But I think this one will need a little bit of testing as well, just to see like what kind of time it can come out with. I would expect it would be around 7 minutes, but like I'm not 100% sure as well. But I think these two age ups might start becoming meta now. Delaware and Pennsylvania, and obviously Virginia is still there for people who want to do the marine build. It's still a good option. Rhode Island's obviously the option for water, which it can be quite powerful, especially if you combine this with medicine. Fortress Age is still an absolute mess. Indiana is really bad. I have no other way to describe Indiana, especially if you chose the fast age option to H3. Even if you didn't, to wait for the Indiana Mammoth Improvement Act to actually take you to the next age, it's just way too long, especially in a 1v1 game. This is like really, really difficult to pull off in my opinion. New Hampshire is still the
5 minutes, or what is it? Later time?
I don't know. I think it's like I think it like takes you to like
longer,
the 20th minute. Yeah. And I mean, you have to take into account you can have like one idle TC for so long. You're gonna have to rely on your other 2 TCs to just keep your eco going. It's just, I don't know, whoever can pull this off in a 1v1 game, like high yellow, kudos to you. I'm sure there are people who might have done it before, but wow, I think in general cases, no one's gonna choose this. If you skip New Hampshire and go to Maryland's obviously the age up for the water still, so I mean this hasn't changed much. I have seen people say that Kentucky might be a good option now. The fact that the factory wagons are now placed in the home city and industrial age, so you don't always have to do the New Hampshire age up. But I kind of disagree with that. I feel like this is still a weaker, like this and Tennessee are still weaker age up options compared to getting in a factory immediately. Like, if anything, I don't know if they tried to make the situation better, but now it's like 10 times worse. I think everyone will choose this one now.
I mean, it gives you like one more card that you can have in your deck when you have the H3 factory.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, exactly. And it's the fact that you do get that extra card slot. You can put another immigrant. You can kind of like mix up your age one a bit by putting more immigrant cards. You can put extra units, extra crates. There's a lot you can do, and especially since US's deck is generally like overcrowded with cards, and it's always like a bit of a struggle to choose choose the most optimal ones for both. But yeah, it's just the fact that you can get 2 extra card slots by going New Hampshire every single time, which is good. Industrial age was never really like a point of contention even before the patch. Like, you could choose whatever you want, honestly. South Carolina is good because, like, I mean, the state militia buff is nice. You get 12, they get to build buildings, they get 600 wood, so it's all good. Marian diversions, I mean, this is a meme. This is a pure meme option. Like, I've never ever seen yet anyone who played US actually use this. But it would be really funny to like experiment with this as well. Vermont, I think what would happen is if you went Pennsylvania in Age 1, then going Vermont actually kind of offsets that negative of the coin trickle that you get from Pennsylvania because of the Vermont coppers. I mean, you get the estate upgrades instantly for free, which is really great. You save a lot of resources, and then all coin incomes are slightly improved. So it improves not only the coin incomes of the estate gathering and the coin gathering of natural coins, but it will also improve your bank coin. It will improve the coin trickle if you send it. It will also improve the church coin trickle as well. So I mean, it improves it like I think by like 5%, but it kind of pays off in the long run. This age up, especially if you go Pennsylvania, like I said. And Green Mountain Boys is okay. I mean, like this is just like an extra. If you ever have a card space, you don't know what to send, you could send this. But California is obviously the revolt option. This is okay as well. If you just want to push a game to conclusion early. New Jersey I have used sometimes because of the New Jersey seaports, and also Morris Canal, which makes everything send really fast. It's a decent age up option, but it takes a while to set up, and it forces you to have cards like 300 wood or 300 coin or both at least in your deck, because it will allow you to send your normal res shipments again. Like you'll be able to send 1000 wood again, you'll be able to send 700 wood, 700 coin. But I think it gets much more benefit if you have an infinite crate somewhere in your deck. Ohio, better for team games obviously, because you'll be able to make use of the Team Ohio supply network a bit more.
Yeah,
so yeah, H4 basically
was quite insane.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
On a map with like 5 TPs.
Yeah. And everyone will get the benefits. So and you'll get an instant 4 to 2 Culverins. You'll be able to set it up and control the TP line even more as well. So yeah, the age up options, I think they did some good to make it less obvious which ones to choose. But I think in general, maybe a bit more could have been done to make the early factory a bit more attractive. I also saw that they improved the forts as well. This is also a change that affects US in a big way, because now 40 points are improved by like 500. The build bounty is improved by 110, so it doubled. So it kind of makes the fort options a bit more attractive. I'm not really going to touch on the changes that they did for cowboys and owl hoots and units like that, because like I feel these sorts of builds they can be pulled off in 1v1, but it's completely destroyed because they moved the one card to H4, so it's a lot less attractive now.
Dancing Downhole or something?
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, honestly, it wasn't the most important one, but it was one that. Oh wait, no, hold on. I think it was the most important one because it decreased the population cost of all outlaws. I think.
Yeah, it increased the population by 1.
Yeah, like I mean, if they've moved that to H4, this build is completely dead. I feel there's no way you can actually do that with such high pop units. And US doesn't have a card like Germans with I think it's called Palatine Settlements or something like that, that makes you get like a lot more population space per house. If US had a card like that, then it might be possible, but yeah, unfortunately they don't, so that's kind of a dead build. But they did make taverns have a coin trickle of 0.6. This is insignificant, I feel. But it helps for that build, kind of. They did decrease Zouave cost to 350. Which is like, I don't know, it affects US a little bit because of the H5 option, but not by much, because Zouaves are they still don't really perform for what they cost. I feel like it's more like a 300 or a 275 coin maybe unit, I'm not sure. But yeah, State Militia, a lot less attractive to make. Obviously they did the cost increase, and a lot of these changes are needed because State Militia were just, as you guys already know, so broken. Especially the change to the hit point cap from 50 to 30 now. This is also really good. Carbine Cav really needed a buff. The range increase is nice because you get it a much earlier, so it's a bit easier to use them early. But I think the rate of fire improvement was a lot better because generally with Carbine Cav, if cavalry were around them and they were just shooting them, and the cavalry, if you had like good micro and just clicked cavalry away, the range was so short on the Carbine Cav and the speed of fire was so slow that they would only really get one shot off, and then the Cav would have already run away before the second shot came. So I mean, you're only doing half the damage that the unit could do. So this at least allows you to get the full potential out of the cavalry in like at least H2 if you send the card early, or H3, and H4 as well. So it's a lot better at least. They did change the card that used to be 25% increase to attack damage. It was also a good change, I think, because I mean it gives you more range resistance, which is also quite nice.
Yeah, they were far too squishy.
Yeah, they were really squishy. Yeah, for sure. The unit itself was very underwhelming. I feel like maybe after this patch they might consider an HP buff. I'm not sure. It just depends on how it performs now with the improvements that they did.
I think the stats are still too low for like a 2 population unit. Maybe just reduce it to 1 and makes it a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And adjust the stats a bit.
It is already quite cheap. It's like about 20 res cheaper than a normal goon. The only issue is it doesn't perform anywhere near close to a normal goon. Like if you were to put a cheap Carbine Cavalry, 80 food, 80 coin compared to a normal goon, everyone would choose normal goon every single time. It's just that bad of a unit. They do say Buffalo. Oh yeah, the Buffalo soldiers I did discuss. The sharpshooter change. Like they didn't change any of its base stats, but I feel like this change to increase its base range to 22 is actually kind of nice if you can micro the unit quite often, because it'll come to a point where it basically outranges almost everything besides maybe units like Somali Daruds, which are 25 range. What else? It could outrange. Okay, not Falks. I think Falks have slightly higher range than them still. I'm not sure what the Falk range is. If it's 26 or 27 or higher than that. I really can't remember. But it will be a really annoying unit to deal with, especially if you have infantry. You would almost always have to lay a stable down because of this range increase. When you get the veteran upgrade, it'll obviously be, I think, 23. Yeah, it'll be 23. Guard upgrade, it'll be 24. Oh no, they say gains +1 range from the veteran. Okay, that's not changed. Oh yeah, so it'll be 24 by guard. I assume by Imperial it'll be 25, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested it fully. But 25 range for a scum unit like this, it's quite insane in my opinion, especially if you have the OP flag. They say Minuteman now has anti-ship attack with 20 range after sending US Marines. Okay, this is change that mostly affects that, but the anti-ship on Minuteman was quite good in any case. Advanced Saloon was moved, yeah, we know that. Lee's Legion was improved by adding just 1 cav. I mean, it's okay to send this, especially since the Carbine cav aren't as bad as they were before. For 6 Carbine cav, I think to pay 250 wood, 250 food, 250 wood, it's not too bad, because this 6 Carbine cav is worth more than what you're paying in terms of resources. But it's still an underwhelming unit in general. Dance Hall got moved to H4, we know that. 2 covered wagons were removed. Yeah, this, I never really seen this as so much of a thing, but I think maybe it's just to prevent US from just like outscaling people in H4 like by a lot. But yeah, I've never really seen 2 covered wagons as a real issue for them to remove it. I've never known what was going on with it. I think the last thing to probably talk about is Slater Textile though. They say it now grants 30 food or 20 wood for each settler and fishing boat you currently have, and reduces the cost of training new ones. This is really nice if this is basically like, I don't know if the effect is like for every single settler you train and every fishing boat you train, or is it for every boat and settler you have before you send the card. They don't really I don't think they oh yeah, they say you currently have, yeah. So they do say you currently have. It gives you a nice bit of res. So it basically forces you to send this slightly later than you would usually do. So maybe in late H2 you could probably choose to send this. But yeah, it's still quite a decent card in any case. Even with combined with medicine, you can get like 51 food wills and 50 wood fishing boats. So it's quite nice as well. But yeah, in general, the US changes were good. It's just that they could have done more to make the H3 factory less of an age-up option. And yeah, that's basically everything I have to say about the US. I think they can maybe do a little bit more before the patch comes out, but I don't think much more can be done now.
Maybe there are still more to follow. I think they are purely focused on the Aztecs quite a lot.
Yeah, the Aztecs were clearly the darling child of this patch, like
Finally.
Inca was in the patch before. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the changes they did to Aztecs were really good, to be honest. Especially with the Jaguar Prowlers, they are, as you saw the last game, they are like really quite a good unit.
Yeah, they're
very
quite
easy
decent
to microphone.
But one problem that is still an issue with Aztec is their crowded H3. You already had to make like 5 decks, 6 decks for just Ares purpose. And now it's gonna be even worse. Because you
it's going to be much worse, yeah.
Yes, because you as well as the Jaguar Power Knights now to H3 again.
Yeah, and it is now a much more, like, it becomes a much more important card to send because of how cost effective and useful Jaguar Prowlers can be now with the obviously the cost improvement and obviously they decreased attack and hit points by 20%. It's quite significant, but if you are using like if Jaguar Prowlers and Stealth, they get onto scums, they can do so much of damage. It's insane. They can do so much of damage to heavy infantry. They have the speed increase, which means that they will catch up to like basically every mask in the game, except Japan masks with the speed improvements, which I don't know if anyone's gonna have the micro capability of ever switching the Stein in time before they get caught by Jags, but yeah, that can be a thing. But yeah, the H3 is just extremely crowded now, especially with the 5 warrior priests. You can improve your boom a bit more if you're never caught up to an H2. But this is never really going to be a thing, I think. I don't know, maybe the other cards you will know a bit better than me. The H1 cards, I feel like both of the H1 cards are good. I don't know what you think about that.
It's like the Grand Temple of what are you gonna call that? Quetzalcoatl? I don't know.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's actually it was a good pronunciation. I would have butchered it.
I don't know. I wanted to be called Kamekak. Like essentially the exiled prince of the Aztecs, the Kamekak, which ships 1 rare piece and with research the next council twice as fast. It's gonna solve their most important problem during the transition from 2 to 3. Like, you most of the time go for your fast age, right? If you want to go for Warrior Priest Boom. And then you have the long awkward time where you essentially don't want to train any H2 units. And you have to wait the fully 90 seconds to reach the 3rd age until you finally can train your Eagle Knights again. This is like one of the most important issues they have in team games currently. Like if you go for fast forges, you just sit there on the resource and you can't just spend them.
And that was kind of like one of the as you said, one of the issues before. This kind of resolves it a bit as well.
And the calendar ceremony, I think, could be pretty useful on like fast industrial, since you can,
for sure. I was actually thinking that as well.
Since you can research. You can dance for this as soon you hit up the H-up button for 3, for example. And when you dance for that, it's gonna decrease the H-up cost of the next H-up for the 4th H, for example. And with 10 war piece, it is 6 resource per second. So with like 90 second H-up time, it's gonna be like what? It was about 9 resources per second, so 810 resources are just gonna be saved. People.
Oh, yo, that's actually quite significant, I think. That can be really significant, I think. And it even can help. If you do get a chance in H4 to dance for H5, it can make it a bit easier, I think, to even get to H5. Especially if you have full warrior priest.
PH5.
Yeah. If you have full warrior priest, if you put like maximum wills on to dance, I think you can actually make it cheap enough to maybe go to H5 even quickly. But that would need, I think, also testing as well.
Warrior priest also a nice addition.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think yet that you really have to dance for warrior priest at all. Or maybe
no, because you actually get you can actually like combine the warrior priest. Like if you're gonna have these two cards in deck from H1, you already have 2 warrior priests that are coming in. You start with 1, that's 3 in total. You can send, I think it's 3 in H2. I'm not sure. I'm not the biggest Aztec. Okay, so 3 in H2. So in total, you can get 6 warrior priests. You only have to dance for 4 more, and they come relatively fast, I think, with 6. So yeah, as you said, you don't really have to dance so much for warrior priests as you would before. So it's actually quite good, I think. In general, these 2 cards, it's just very nice additions.
But one thing I really think is closely the useless addition is non-stinger combat. I tried it out. I really tried it out. I put it on H4, dance with 10 warrior priests as it usually is, and I sent in the card. And do you know how much it increased the attack and hit points?
I think the hit points you didn't mention like just by 8.
Yeah, hit points was like 8.
I think the attack was like 1.
The attack you get with dancing is just 1. You get 1 attack.
Yeah,
it's just so sad.
It's a dismal. I think with enough complaints, this will get changed. It will get improved to like at least 15, maybe 20. 20, I think, is possible because like since it's an H4 card, they have to give like a really good H4 incentive to send this. Otherwise, no one was ever going to send this. They'd rather have something like Skull Knights or I think what else is there? There's also more improvement cards for coin. I can't remember which ones there are now because
the support card gives them more to line of sight and range and 20% HP, which is 20.
Yeah, so even that too. Yeah.
Why even bother with that?
Yeah. There's many different better H4 cards to send than this, especially if you are going to do a fast industrial. You're never gonna want to send this.
I thought it could have like quite a lot of synergy with the fast industrial where you send in the 20 advantage slingers over and over and over again. But
over and over again, exactly. Yeah, and I would think they made that initially for that, but then I thought, okay, if it's not for that, then maybe it's cheaty. And then you told me that it doesn't really ever increase the stats that much. So then I thought, okay, then what was even the point of making this card? I think a lot of people were also complaining about the Inca. I think it was the Wamani card. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Wamani. It got nerfed.
Wamani. Yeah, it got. Apparently, it's like I read it. It's like only 500 wood, and I was like, it's 500 wood. It's Inca. They're gonna chop so much wood. But then, I'm not the biggest Inca player, but people were like, no, the card is completely dead now. It's just useless. It's like you're never gonna want to send it because of the 500 wood cost.
Yeah, and as well as the poor Rankanov Edge too. The range got reduced to 12 from 22.
The range got nerfed, yeah. And I think I saw a lot of people also complain that the Hoirakas in H2 were just like insanely powerful. Like I think Harrison made a post and said that he was training Cav, he was training like every single unit, H2 unit under the sun, and it did like nothing to them. They just kept sieging and doing what they were doing. So yeah, but I think the Inca nerf, like compared to how much damage they did to the Civ, and I mean damage in like ways like the way that they made them a bit more like OP to the point that they kind of broke it now. So the amount of damage they did to the Civ and the rework compared to the nerfs that they did now is like it's kind of insignificant. I feel like Inca players will find a way around this if this change does make it to past public update. So yeah.
I mean, I never bothered really with the Wawani card, to to begin with, so I don't know.
Oh, I was pretty sure you had it in deck the one time. I thought. No, I
I
thought I
tried it
saw you
once
had
against Aztecs, but I got crushed,
Yeah.
so I never bothered with it again. I think the build I do is completely fine, and team games as well.
Yeah,
as
the
other
build you
ones.
do is like even the nerfs don't affect your build like that much. Honestly, yours is like purely greed build. Like
Yeah,
trying
it
to
is
get
very
TCs
greedy.
out early and everything like that. But I think that TC, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm correct in saying this. I'm not. That TC card, did it always give one TC and one Warheart Wagon, or was it just one TC before?
And it was one TC and one Builder Trevor. So it could
Build
build everything, basically. And now it just got reverted to just a Warheart and a TC.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, I mean, but still, you're getting quite a lot of value for 250 coin, and you can just mine it in transition.
Yeah, it's like
So,
750 resources.
Exactly, yeah, it's quite a lot, and like I mean, generally Civs don't usually get access to TCs in H2, unless you are playing Swahili Coast, which we discovered yesterday. But yeah, the extra TC for Inca with the counter boom really helps a lot. But I think you are right that build can actually kind of be countered just by rushing, because it kind of takes a while to set up.
Yeah.
And like generally Inca players will if they are going for that boom, they won't prioritize getting early racks. They would instead go for they would use one card quickly to send that. Then they would need to wait for, I think you get 700 wood, right? I'm not sure if Inca gets that. I'm pretty sure
They get
might.
600 wood infinitely.
600 wood infinitely, yeah. So you're basically gonna delay the 600 wood. You won't get early Raxes out, so that build can be rushed. I think you were kind of right in that assumption. And some Civs will also obviously be very strong against it. But yeah, I've never beaten the build yet, so I can't really speak too much about it. But yeah.
Well,
not
with words, not with aggression.
Yeah.
No, it didn't work. Meanwhile, Inca waters the rock, and so let's see when they fix that.
Yeah. Inca, I literally can't believe that they did almost nothing to Inca water for so many patches now. It's unless they did maybe not. I think they did nerf Chinchas a bit in one patch, but the unit is still kind of broken, to be honest. Inca will still dominate waters in like 90% of the games, unless they get 2v1 down water.
Even then they can.
Yeah, even then they can. But like I mean, like 2v1 by like maybe two other civs who have like proper water decks and are maybe really good on water, like maybe Port and Ritz or Port Auto, something like that.
Maybe Port Aztec. I don't know.
Even Port Aztec. But like also civs that can get like if you can get, I think canoes would possibly help, but Chincha Rafts shoot so damn fast that it makes almost no difference, I think.
Yeah, and you don't have to invest really a lot in water. Like, as a Hero Civ, you have to upgrade your ships by 1, 2, 3 tags, as well as ship cards. And as Inca, you only can have, like, water dance. Then,
yeah,
more you don't need. That's all you need, really, water dance.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But, yeah, I don't know if you saw that they did add, they don't actually mention it in the preview patch notes, but they added customization for the Aztec Explorer. I actually only saw it this morning, I think, on the PUP.
With Aztec Explorer? I knew that.
Yeah. If you go to Aztec Home City, he's like standing bottom right, like closer, a little bit closer to the middle though, is where you'll find him. And then I think the customization is quite nice on it. Like they look quite cool.
Oh, especially the right one.
Yeah, the right one looks kind of sick.
That I'm gonna definitely use. He's on fire.
Yeah. Both of them look kind of cool. The right one obviously is like the best one. But it's nice that they are at least giving the native Civ some love.
I'm so curious if they wanna change the Udinese and Lakota's home cities.
Yeah, I think probably Udinese and Lakota possibly next. I mean, with the way they are going, they could be next on changes. I don't know really what you could change with Udinese because the Civ itself. I mean, in 1v1 it's good. In team it's okay unless there's a very long game. Then it becomes an issue. So they could balance it to become a bit better long game. Lakota kind of suffers from the same issue, but Lakota can be at the same time. If you do certain decks, they can be quite strong.
Yeah, the PUP isn't really bad, honestly.
Yeah, okay, in team games they find if it goes like for very long, it can be a bit of an issue. But like early to mid to like late age for Lakota are still like quite strong in team, especially with how much time they can buy teammates.
Yeah, their rates, their strong boom with the adoption, as well as the cheaper DCs.
Oh yes, yeah, that as well. And the food gathering is just insane, especially if you have bison cards, hunting cards. They can get like if they can get food eco that's even better than most EU civs. Yeah, in fact they should actually nerf this civ. They shouldn't buff it. Udinese needs more of a buff.
I don't want Lakota to be strong, to be honest.
Yeah, it was too strong. It was too strong on TAD. There's no reason to make the civ any more stronger than it is.
Yeah, it was also too strong before the nerf, where they could go for the TP in H1.
Oh yeah, and even Udinese could do it as well with the trap wall. I think they could get 2 TPs in H1 from TAD. I'm not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but I think you could use the trap wall to build one, and you could use Explorer, just gather a little bit more wood, and you could build another one, 2 TPs, just some more for a house, and use that basically for the entire game.
Good old legacy times.
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically everything that I had to say about the patch, especially with the USA. USA, I think it might be better now, I guess. But I still wanted more changes to them. But yeah, that's just me, I guess.
One thing I think that could do, what they might do, is like adding a revolt option for each nation. Like every nation they added has like a revolt option. Now they have one for Aztec too. Maybe Lakota and Udinese will follow.
Yeah, I think Lakota and Udinese will possibly be next on that list. Indians do have a revolt option. It's very expensive though. In age 4, it's like a semi-revolt. It's not really like full on. It's not like like super full on like the other civs. But Japan doesn't have one. It would suit the civ to have. Well, I don't know if it really would. I don't know if I'm taking history out of context here. Japan might get one in H4.
I mean, they were under isolation pretty much in that time.
Yeah, they could do one based on the Sengoku Edo or something like that. China, I've never ever known in history if they've ever revolted. So I don't know if it makes like sense for them to have a revolt.
Not really. I mean, the H4.
But they might hit that one.
So
yeah, they might hit that one. Yeah. You could technically say like the old hand reforms in the old game when you had to pay resources for it was like a revolt, because it wasn't. I think it was an expensive card to send, but it was so worth it that like you wouldn't not want to send it. It just made the old Han army so it was like basically untouchable from H1 onwards.
The same the stats they could go to.
Yeah. Ethiopians and Hausa, I can't really remember if they have something. But these two civs also, it wouldn't really make sense for them to have any revolt options, to be honest. Yeah, they don't have anything.